Hello, everybody. This is Ben Stiles and Joe Wallace bringing you the Southeastern Amateur Championships presented by the Orlando Disc Golf Club. I've got it starting off on hole 1, which is me, Jason, Jeremy, and Mike. So tell us about hole 1, Joe.
So hole 1 is, this is Turkey Lake, the original course, or T1. Hole 1 is a downhill shot that you can do either way. You can throw a backhand, you can throw a sidearm. There's
a bunch of different ways to access this pin. The backhand seems to be the most popular for the guys that I play with on the card. I'm taking the forehand route, trying to push it down the left side where it's open and just trying to get it skipped into the green. But I leave it a little wide out here and it just kind of turns over and stalls out. But it'll put me where I got to look at the basket at least. And then this guy right here, this is actually his first tournament. So Jason is actually playing his first tournament out there with us today. He signed up for advanced. He wasn't really sure about what he signed up, but he's having fun and playing some good disc golf. So he ended up on the right-hand side in the roughage, but he should be able to get out of there. And then can't tell who this is. I think this is Mike. Mike going here. He's just trying to take that backhand, just put it down there straight. But he turns it over a little bit too much, hits to the right, kicks out to the left, but the left side's wide open, so there's nothing much over there you got to worry about.
Yeah, I took the forehand on this hole also. It just seemed like a natural shot for this hole. Ended up getting my birdie and moved on to hole 2.
Yeah, you can see that when you get a good look at the basket here on hole 1, the basket's kind of under a tree. So as you get down to the pin, you have to fight that low ceiling in order to be able to actually get up to the basket. So
who's this, Ben?
This is Jason. Jason just throwing his approach shot up there, just getting it close where he can get a good putt. And then this is me. I ended up outside the circle, off to the left, but I'm going to try to take my putter and maybe give it a little bid. Hopefully try to save my birdie from outside. Just left it a little short, but it should be a tap in par from there. And so just kind of cleaning up here, taking some long putts.
Nice, good putt.
That's a good putt. I believe that was for his birdie. So just some more cleaning out putts here, finishing out, tapping in for, this should be for par for Mike. Solid stroke. And then I believe this is for Jason's bogey.
Gotta get it up.
Gotta get it up. So this is actually later in our round. This isn't where we started, but this is where this puts us on hole 1 to start the course. So moving on to hole 2. Hole 2 was kind of a tricky hole. I had a little bit of difficulty with this in our practice rounds. It's actually playing to the basket that's to the left. So you can see here, he's throwing that hyzer trying to get it up because there's a low ceiling right off the tee pad, and there's a tree right to the right-hand side. It's there. So the shot's kind of tricky, but what I'm trying to do here is just take my Thunderbird, put it on a nice backhand line, and get it left of this tree that's down in the middle of the fairway, and hopefully just get a good skip back towards the basket. And I managed to do exactly that, put myself inside the circle. It's right where I want to be. So there's a couple different lines here. There's a forehand line, there's a straighter route, but pretty much the only thing you got to make sure you do is don't end up behind this tree that's right in the middle of the fairway, because it's going to be very difficult to approach from there.
That's where I ended up on my round.
It's so easy to end up there if you go a little high, take a little too far right, and that tree is just right there where you try to want to put your drives. So he's just taking us out there. He hung it a little high and ended up under that tree off to the left. That low ceiling can really get you up to him. So little approach shot. He left it a little shorter than he needed to. He's probably still about 50 out from there. So this should be Mike just taking his nice little hyzer approach shot to the basket, getting him up where he can have a good putt. It's a nice shot. So I believe this is his drive, kind of giving it a little half go there, but getting it up where it's an easier putt from there. And he actually pushed his approach shot long, so he gave himself a tester putt coming back and just left it a little low. Then, after my nice drive, put it right outside the circle, right where I want to be on hole 2, take my nice easy birdie, Shouldn't be a problem. But one of my
Gotta get it up.
I had a ton of metal hits this round. I could not get it in the basket. I was struggling with it the entire time. So it looks like our whole card had the same problem. Just leaving it a little low on hole 2 and just not making good on those easy putts. There we go. Somebody finally got it in the basket. So we're all just going to tap in for our pars and bogeys from here. Just trying to get off this hole and move on to the next hole. Tell me about hole 3, Joe.
Hole 3 is an interesting little downhill shot. The road plays OB. It's kind of sloping green, and there's a couple different options. There's sidearm routes. There's backhand routes. One of the guys on my card threw over the trees and had a good 30-foot putt. So, plenty of options, different ways you can take this hole.
Right. It does play towards the water down there, but the water's way past the basket and the grass is so thick that anything that hits the grass here is never going to skip, even though the hill's going to slope down towards the water. Because I put mine long and put it on a bunch of hyzer and it was going down the hill, but it touched grass and just dug in. So a couple different looks at the different lines you can take to get there, and all these are pretty solid shots. You should be up there looking at the green so they can at least take a putt.
A little high. You got to keep it a little lower than that.
A little high, a little left, but he caught some trees and ended up safe and found the inbounds over there. So he's got a tricky little low ceiling approach shot. I think he put that one pretty close. So we got him looking over here. He should be just outside the circle. With that low ceiling coming into this basket again, if you get too far and outside, it can make an approach putt really difficult. I just couldn't get it up enough with that ceiling. Try to save that birdie.
Good run.
Good run, just a little left. And I'm actually on the edge of a wall down here. My left foot is actually on the railroad ties that make up the wall that's there. So I had to straddle putt in order to get any kind of motion at it. And again,
another metal hit.
Just another metal hit. Just couldn't get it up enough to get it in the basket. Makes good on his par putt. I believe we're just going to all clean up for our pars here. Yeah, everybody's just kind of tapping out. So, hole 4. What was hole 4?
Hole 4, you got water on the right side. It's pretty much a straight shot. Basket is elevated.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a fun little hole.
So there's a big hyzer gap out to the right, or there's a straight gap just going right up the gut. This one was kind of hard to get a good angle at. So you can't really tell what's doing there, but I'm just taking a buzz and just throwing it straight. It's only 315. And the basket is on a little mound on a pole, so I'm trying to just play it into that mound and give myself a putt. So I believe this is that Mike? Yeah, Mike's going with that straight shot again, and he went to the outside of the trees and just left it a little right, and that grass just kind of sucks it up as soon as it touches. Yeah, it looks like he just threw that with a little bit too much hyzer.
A little too left.
Just left him out to the left. But he's about 60 feet out. That doesn't sound like too bad, but when you get these elevated baskets in there, running those putts can get really scary really fast. So he's actually going for that big hyzer shot, but he doesn't quite get enough on it, and it just kind of stalls out and dies on him. But it leaves him out in that wide open area over there where he should have an unobstructed look at the basket. And you can see here, it looks like he's lining this one up, and he just rips on it. Just missed it. He had the right height, which is a hard thing to do, but with that elevated basket, since he put it close to going in, it left him another 30-foot putt on an elevated basket. So I think he's just laying this one up, playing that safe approach. He didn't have a solid putt. And then I'm not sure what he was trying to do here. This is one of the weirdest shots I've ever seen. He kind of threw it super nose up and like threw a stall shot, and it ended up by the basket. He was giving it like a 20% chance. So I'm sitting here about 25 feet out. It's elevated basket, but I figure I've been missing everything low, so I'm just going to go for this one. And finally connect on a putt.
Good putt.
Thanks.
Yeah, nice.
So he's left himself about another 20 feet out on this elevated basket again. I think this is just the experience of not playing a ton of tournaments getting to him and trying to make up those strokes and not playing that smart play and laying up. But it's each his own. So tapping out his par putt there, and then he's coming back for his bogey here and just doesn't give it enough to get there. So this will be for double bogey, a 5, and he's still from about 20. So he makes good on that one, finally connects and puts it in the basket solid. And he's just tapping out for his par. So hole 5, OB right all the way down water. There's OB ditch across the middle and OB left. So it's marked as a par 3, but I don't think anybody put it down there for a 2 today. Best I score I heard was 3s. But the smart play is just to play it a little safe hyzer straight shot down there, and I clipped a tree and ended up right up underneath that tree. Didn't even make it across the bridge. I'm probably 150 feet off the tee pad. Not where you want to be on this hole.
Yeah, most of the guys on my card, we just threw it straight at it. Ended up being easy par and moved on to the next hole.
Yeah.
But there's definitely this hole has some teeth. If you get off to the left, you could be OB, you could be in some really thick stuff.
You can actually see he throws it onto the bridge there and hits the railing on the left side of the bridge and just skitters across the bridge back in bounds. But there is a big bailout zone to the left, so if you carry it across the bridge over there, the fairway kind of opens up, so you have a pretty good second shot up at the basket. He threw a shot way down there and hit the last tree you had to get around. He absolutely smoked that one down there. If he'd have cleared that tree, he'd have been inside the circle. So just throwing a nice, trying to follow up Mike's line there again, and just left it a little left and put it OB. I've got an obstructed shot here because I'm so close to that tree. I can't throw backhand and be without hitting my hand on that tree. And I can't really throw forehand because it's inside. So I had to like straddle out with my right foot planted and throw a standstill with a leopard 3 and just try to get myself somewhere down there where I could maybe putt or at least save my bogey. That should be a good approach shot. I left it a little right, but he's on the green. Mike throwing a nice little approach shot right where you want to be. Should be an easy cleanup. Gave it a half go, but he's well inside the circle.
So you're probably about 40 feet out, 50 feet out from here?
About 50 feet out. Not much I can do, so trying to get on the knee to try to put this challenger nose up, little forehand, kind of floated at the basket, and just left it short. But it'll give me an easy bogey on this one. Not what I wanted, but considering how far my drive went, I'm not unhappy either. Tapping out, I believe that'll be for his bogey. And then the other two guys are just going to be tapping in their par putts here. And that's what you get. If you throw a nice, good, safe drive here, you can get away with your par pretty easily. Par is not a difficult score. You play the hole well, but a birdie is next to impossible. It's a next level shot. So I'm just coming up here, tapping up my little drop in, and then, I actually missed the score sign here. So this is actually moving on to the next hole. So this plays as a righty backhand hyzer, Joe, not a hand hyzer over the trees. But it's a kind of a little tunnel shot over those bushes there, unless you take it over the top of those trees.
There's options on this hole. There's options. You can do Anheuser over the trees,
Yeah.
and put it right at the basket, or you can throw a hyzer. and see where it goes.
Yeah, this shot's pretty open. The trees that are in the way are not really in the way because they're not real tall. So I'm just taking a verdict there and just throwing it high on a little hyzer and just letting it float back towards the basket. The basket's actually to the left of that dead tree that you can just kind of see up there. So it kind of protects it if you leave it short, but if you put it high and long, you can end up right there at the basket. So he just put his drive into the dirt, didn't play it uphill, he threw a level shot. So that tree kind of really comes into play if you leave it short at all. You can see how he's got a difficult putt. The only thing he could do is just throw a forehand putt at it and maybe get lucky, maybe get it in, but at least save his par. So a really cool old tree. I'm not sure what it was, but man, that thing is stretched out all over the place. So this is his par putt. Trying to save it here. Just left it a little wide, but a good bit at it. So then this is a great drive. This is where his drive ended up. So he's just got a nice little 15-foot tap in for his birdie.
Good bird.
Good bird. And then I'm gonna go clean up mine. I put mine about 10 feet out too. So I actually hyzered around that tree and came in. Just a nice, simple little two. One of the few birdies I felt like I took the entire round. I was really struggling out there today.
Now we're moving on to hole 7. Another elevated basket. It's kind of uphill, open shot.
Fairly open shot. It plays. It says it's like 415. I think that it plays pretty true to, or it says it's 380. It probably plays like it's about 415. I'm taking a moderately overstable driver, putting a big throw on it because there is a hill at the bottom of the basket. So I'm trying to just throw it into that hill and hopefully end up with a good putt because you got to get close in these elevated baskets. Otherwise, running those putts gets really scary, just like on the other basket as we saw. So I'm taking my wraith here, throwing that backhand line and trying to just throw it straight. But it felt like all day I was struggling with turning everything over, coming out a little anhyzer, so I pushed it way to the right-hand side. You can see it kick back to the left over there. And then I believe he's taken, and he ends up doing the same thing, just turns a little too right. He actually gets all the way around that tree over there on the right-hand side, so it actually opens back up for him. So he's actually got an approach he can go to the basket. Let's see here. Just a little early release, brought it way left. Put it right underneath that tree. So still got a line to the basket though, and just grip locks it again the other way, pulls it way right, and he's got an awkward little approach to what's basically going to be a downhill green. See that little hill there? That's pretty much what I was trying to play into off the drive. Just put it at the bottom of that hill somewhere. And that's pretty much what I'm going to try to do with this approach shot. Just play a putter into the hill because it's going to stick, and just give myself a putt. So he's hyzered this one out a little bit. It's put him at that 20-foot range, which is a little farther than most players feel comfortable with on those elevated baskets. It's another little approach shot, do a little putter stall, get him on the uphill side so it's not as daunting of an uphill putt.
It does turn it into a death putt.
It does turn it into a death putt. You see he runs that big putt there, and he makes good on that one. So he learned on how to put that little extra effort on that last elevated basket and make good on that putt. So again, another uphill putt. This is probably about 20 feet. And just left it low. You got to get it up on those elevated baskets. So he's putting from the uphill side, so the basket's not quite as tall, but man, if you miss this, you're a long way out still. Especially basically putting downhill. But
good putt.
Cans the putt. So then I've got a nice little 10-foot putt for my par save. Just trying to get off this hole and move on to the next one and see if I can't birdie the next hole. He's come up to tap in his bogey after that missed putt on the uphill basket.
So we're moving on to hole 8. This one's pretty straightforward. It's about 247 feet, just straight down the pipe. The basket is on a small mound. There's OB to the left that you can find. You pretty much just want to throw either a putter or mid-range right at it.
And that's what I did too. I took my overstable Challenger and just put it on a little hyzer, put it straight, and just throw it in that hill and get it to stick to give me a putt. How'd you play this hole, Joe?
I threw a mid-range, ended up being slightly left, missed my birdie putt, and ended up taking a par, moving on.
That's one of the scary things about this hole is, okay, he caught a tree and stayed in bounds, because that road is just on, the basket's on a mound, but if you go left of the basket, you can roll down that mound and directly OB, so you definitely want to hit the right side of the mound, try to get the stick up there for your putt, just to try to avoid that OB.
Get back.
So he's thrown a good shot here. He put it just a little too straight, put it past the basket in the edge of the woods back there. So he'll have a difficult putt, but he should be inside the circle. This one's a little too high on hyzer.
Long shot. Maybe I'll have him have like a big
Okay, he ended up back in the middle of the fairway. Not a bad shot.
At this point, you just want to lay up, take your par, move on to the next one.
Yeah, because with that OB there, risk of a roll away, you definitely don't want to be putting long at this one. You want this one to be close. You're not putting at OB. He's giving this one a run. Okay. He got it up there by the basket and it sat down. So you can see his drive ended up long. He's in the bushes past the basket. So he's coming back low ceiling. He gave it a bid. Just he couldn't get it high enough with that ceiling being as low as it is. All right, so he's putting for his par save. He's probably right about circle's edge. Makes good on that putt. That's a great putt. Even though he's new to a tournament player, he's got a really good putting stroke, and he definitely saved himself a lot on the green. Cleaning out my birdie putt, which finally felt good. Hitting a couple of those early in the round really makes a difference. So tell us about hole 9, Joe.
So hole 9, I feel it's a little similar to hole 8 at 288 feet. It's a little farther. Basket, again, is kind of elevated on a mound. You pretty much just want to throw a hyzer straight at it, skip up to the basket, or throw a roller.
Apparently throw a roller was what I went with. I had trouble with this one because of the low ceiling, getting something to go that straight, that low. So in practice round, I threw this roller and it worked out great. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw a roller here and see what happens. But I left it, turned it a little too much and just put it way out, right? Not where you want to be. So he's actually showing you exactly how you want to do this. He played it low, got that skip, countered up towards the basket. Excellent shot. So the rest of these guys are going to show you how this hole should be played. Just throwing that backhand hyzer. I think he puts an air shot on this all the way down to the green. Doesn't touch anything until he gets all the way down there. So he just skips up right there by the basket. Right in the left-hand corner of the screen. So doing the same thing. Left it a little low. Little hyzer, but he gets that nice little flare back up there, a little counter skip. So he's actually well inside the range. And I ended up basket high, but way right with nothing to look at. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my zone, throwing it on a roller, just throwing it hard and seeing what I can get away with because I had no look at really anything. So it's hard to tell, but it actually rolled up around that tree and it ended up inside 5 feet somehow. I really don't know how or why.
There you go.
And he makes good on that long birdie putt there. Another birdie look. Another birdie. Then here I am cleaning up my par. Somehow, I still don't know how my drive ended up, my approach ended up that close to the basket.
Yeah, par is a par.
Par is a par, even if you don't know how it happens, I guess. And this is a great shot. Nice little tap-in birdie, and I ruined the star frame on that hole. All right, so hole 10. I don't remember hole 10. What's hole 10, Joe?
Hole 10 is short 282 downhill shot. It's pretty open. There's one major tree in the fairway, but if you get around the tree, we should be good. I threw mid-range on this hole and just hyzer down to the basket.
Okay, I remember this hole. So, yeah, he threw a meteor on that hole and just turned it over and put it way straight. So he's probably 75, 100 long. He's just taking that same little mid-range hyzer shot down there, and then he's actually throwing a fairway driver. Tried to throw a big hyzer up here over the trees, and just didn't get it out wide enough to get over everything. I'm taking the same route he was trying to take. I'm taking a fairway driver and putting it on a hyzer and trying to put it up over those trees to the right. Let it just fall back towards the basket. Put a good pull on this, but I put a little too much hyzer on it. Ended up a little short, a little left, but just outside the circle there, so I'm not unhappy with that shot. That's a solid approach shot. Pretty much here, if you're not right inside the circle, just there's a big roll away potential down there, and it can roll a long way with that slight downhill past the basket. That was a solid bid. He put it close. So this is my birdie look. I'm sitting probably about 35, 40 out here, which is a little bit outside of the range I'm comfortable with, but we'll give it a chance and see what happens. Drew medal again. Didn't quite make good on it, and you see how long he carried that with that meteor. Just turned over and kept going straight. He's probably coming back from 75 to 100, probably closer to 100, but he's giving it a go.
It's metal.
He hit metal and actually stayed on top of that basket up there. So 2 inches lower, and that would have been a birdie. Drops that putt. Those are the ones you hate to see, is somebody miss those little short putts like that. So should be just cleaning up pars here, tapping these in. Nothing too exciting going on here. We all made attempts at the birdie, but none of us were able to cash in on it. And then he's got to put it from underneath the basket.
So moving on to hole 11, it's an uphill shot. You have a few trees in the fairway that you're going to have to navigate. Not the most difficult hole on the course, but it's a little tricky.
How'd you play this hole, Joe?
I ended up throwing a sidearm up there and made it past the tree, but left myself with a 40-foot putt and wasn't able to convert to the birdie.
That one tree that's in the middle there straight ahead, that's the only thing you really have to miss on this hole. The basket, you can kind of see it's located directly behind that tree, slightly off to the right. So I've actually played a skip shot here, trying to play into that hill and skip up the hill.
Came out, right?
That's what I tried to do. And you can see he kind of caught the right side over there trying to throw that hyzer line, and he actually got stuck in one of those palm trees over there. So I'm going with an overstable fairway driver, trying to skip up that hill, but just don't get it down on it enough and leave it a little high, throw it into that tree. But it trickles through up there. I'm going to have a putt from about 20, 25 out. So another look at the forehand line, and just left it a little low. Didn't quite have the skip he needed to get up there, but he's
still putting.
He's still putting. He's 35, 40 out. You can see he ended up deep in that stuff over there, and threw a pretty solid shot considering he was so far in the rough over there. So he's got his birdie putt here. Lining it up. He looks like he's going to have to take a straddle. He's probably just outside the circle. Just left it a little short. So I'm trying to take that birdie. A little low. This is his par save attempt after being short right off the tee. Just left it low. Man, a lot of metal going on this round. So this is where my drive ended up. I'm probably about 20 feet out. I've got an awkward footing, and I have to straddle because of the low ceiling and the tight bushes. So this is my least favorite form of putting. I hate straddle putting. But finally make a putt.
Good putt, man. Good putt.
Thanks. Those always feel good, even if they're not long straddle putts or struggle putts, as Yulia calls them. Any of those that go in feel great. So just cleaning up some birdies, tapping out. I'm sorry, pars and bogeys. You can see Joe Wallace making an appearance there, back in the background, walking through as they're finishing up. So hole 12.
Hole 12 is pretty much a straight shot. You got kind of another low ceiling you got to navigate. It plays 350, slightly uphill. I threw just a straight shot at it. Made it halfway down the fairway. Ended up taking a par.
Yeah, I tried to take a fairway driver here, a Leopard 3, and put on a little hyzer, let it pop up flat, turn over just a little bit, and go on down the fairway. But I just got this one over a little bit too much. It just leaked right, put me tight on that right hand side. So not where I want to be, but not a bad spot either. So I think he's doing the same kind of thing, just taking a driver, pumping it down the middle, and he just let it leak right a little bit too. That one tree down there it's where you end up if you bail out right at all. But it's better to be right than left, because if you go left, you end up down there where all the tents and everything are set up. There's kind of a wall of trees that can make the approach shot difficult. So it's a pretty good upshot. Should leave him an easy par from there. A little high hyzer, but that'll put him inside a circle. So I'm about 120 out here, so I'm just taking a putter on a little straight shot. I'm just trying to put it inside, so I hopefully don't have to putt anything. Same thing he's doing it here, just left it a little short and pushed it down that hill. So he's left himself a 30-foot putt back at it, but he makes good on it. So then he should be tapping in for his par. I think that one went in. That's a good putt. Oh no, he missed that one. Oh. Should be Mike for his par save. Solid putt. I'm just coming up to tap in my par. He's doing the same thing, tapping the par.
So hole 13 is an interesting shot. It's 355 feet downhill, OB lake on the left. That lake can come into play if you end up flipping it. I ended up going straight at it and found some trouble. Ended up taking a bogey on this hole, but there's definitely options on this hole.
There's definitely options. There's a couple of ways to come at it, but there is lake left, and while there's no OB right, the woods over there are really thick. If you end up in there, it might as well be OB. So here's that forehand shot, a nice little hyzer pushing down towards the basket. That looks like a pretty good shot. And so then I believe he's actually taking the backhand line straight at them. Just playing a little turnover, turns over, keeps pushing. It's hard to see there, but he puts it right up there inside the circle. That was a great shot. So I kind of got caught up in this tree on the left forehand. It left me this low ceiling little shot, and I was throwing my buzz, and I turned it over. It was a slight headwind, but I just didn't read it right. Yeah, he looks like he hyzered his forehand out a little early, but nice little safe approach shot. So here's where his drive ended up. Looks like he's giving this about a half go, but maybe he's just laying up on that one. So I left myself in the woods again, so I'm just taking putter, trying to give it a chance.
Good bid.
Good bid. Drew a little metal, I believe, on that one, but that doesn't count for anything. Just kind of tapping those in over there. This would be for his par. So he did leave himself a little bit of a tester putt for a par. More than you want to be putting on par. So just cleaning out this hole.
So we're about to move on to hole 14. Hole 14, I thought, was one of the trickier holes of the course. Directly in front of the tee pad, there's 2 trees that you have to get your disc past those 2 trees, and then there's also some bushes you got to get past. Quite a bit of stuff to navigate to get to that birdie.
Definitely a tricky hole. You'll see when the shot comes up here that little tunnel shot it can't be more than 4 or 5 feet wide. It feels like it might be like a disc width, but it's probably 5-6 feet wide. But you got to pipe it straight. If you throw something too overstable and hyzer to the left, there's a tree over there, and there's just like a wall between you and the basket. So you really have to push this one straight almost the entire distance, and then have a little fade on the end to get you a good look at the basket. But any shot that's not down that gap becomes very difficult to even save your par from there.
Yeah, being far left is just danger. You want to be, if anything, you want to be to the right, if not just dead straight.
Yeah, straight's the best. Right's the better bailout. You don't want to be left. So I'm trying to stone with this one straight, but do not throw a good shot at all. Actually pull it right, kick through those trees, and end up way left underneath the tree over there. So not where you want to be. So he had an awkward stance because he didn't actually make it out of the woods, but he threw a nice shot. He should be able to get up and down from where he is now. He just pushed his hyzer way longer than he wanted. He was trying to play a 250-foot hyzer. He ended up playing a 400-foot flex shot almost. So I've got a forehand putter. There's a little tiny window in the woods there, which is pretty much the only thing I could see, trying to just push it through there and hopefully be able to have a putt from there. Punched through a little bit, but left myself outside the circle. Want a little hyzer approach, which is the smart play if you're in a window where you can get that, to try to get there. The same window I threw through, he's actually up against that window and has a decent half run at it.
If you're deep left, there is a more open window.
Yeah.
But it's still a tough shot.
It's still really tough, but you've got to be really far left, and almost scared you're about to go in the water left. So I put myself where I've got a 35-foot putt, maybe 40-foot. Give it a little run. Just can't connect. So those outside the circle putts, just close all day, but never going in. So this is his par save putt. Just leaves a little short. So come up here. Just going to be cleaning out some pars and bogeys. We did not play this hole the way it should be played. It doesn't play too difficult if you throw a solid tee shot, but if you don't throw a good tee shot, this hole can really be in a lot of trouble. So I'm actually behind that tree, cleaning out my bogey putt.
So moving on to hole 15. Hole 15, 336, slight uphill. It kind of levels off. Not too much teeth on this hole. This is, you want to try to get a birdie on this hole.
Yeah, I like this hole. It's a nice little forehand shot going down towards the basket. Not too difficult. It's right there in front of you. This is one where you can actually just see it. So it feels like a must-get birdie. You're coming out of that tight wooded shot there. Just see the basket, throw a shot. He got this one nose up. Just kind of stalled out on him and ended up to the right. He's out in the open now. Not too bad. So I'm throwing that forehand because the left side's wide open. Just throw it out there on the forehand, let it hyzer in towards the basket. Just turn it over a little bit. It's going to hyzer back. Again, leave me that just outside the circle putt. So he's actually going the backhand here, throwing a turnover shot. He throws it hard enough, just turns it over a little too much, and just keeps tracking to the right. You can see he ended up in a lot of trouble. You can just see his disc flicking in the background there. So he ended up deep left. Just trying to throw a shot out and blows right past the basket in the hyzer. He's going to leave himself another about 50 feet out again. So he's throwing a forehand approach there, just turns it over a little bit, left it left. So he's trying to make this for his birdie save. So he just put it up inside a circle for an easy putt. Here's my comebacker. His approach shot out of the woods. And then here's my putt. No, this is Jason's putt for his par. Here's where I am. Circle's edge. Should be no-brainer to at least make it close. But it's just not connecting on those putts that I need to be making. So he's trying to clean up his bogey here and just move on to the next hole. Makes good on that one. And Kelley's kind of trying to hide behind the trees here because everybody's putting out in the green and they're actually putting directly towards her, so she's trying to stay out of everybody's line of sight. Just drops that one a little left. Tapping in my 3. And we're moving on to the next.
So hole 16, I think, is the only par 4 on the course. 476 feet. That off the drive, you want to be a good 350 and leave yourself on the right-hand side so you have a clear shot to get up to the basket. If you're in the left, you're going to be in trouble.
The left is bad. The right, it might be even a little worse, which is where I end up. I turn this one over again. Just put it right where I didn't have a look. Basically what I was trying to do on this hole is just play it straight, a little gap down there, which leaves you a nice easy shot to the basket. But left or right of that gap, and it makes this a difficult hole. And the next here is about to show you exactly how this hole should be played. Just take that backhand, play it pretty much straight, turn it over just a little bit, a little baby flex on the end of it, and that puts him right on the right-hand side in that gap, which is right where you want to be. What'd you throw in this hole, Joe?
I ended up throwing my turn. Just threw it straight at it, let it flip. Ended up going a little to the right, but I left myself with a nice open shot to get up to the basket.
Nice. He actually put this deep in that bush there, and he had to throw an overhand shot. You can just see it finish right back there, right in the middle of the fairway, like it was what he was trying to do. So for where he was, that was a great recovery. And I'm actually throwing a thumb roller here with my zone, just trying to get around the corner and hopefully give myself a little putt.
Yeah, you don't want to be that far right.
Yeah, that was way too far right. But as you can see here, I ended up in the exact wrong spot. So he ended up even farther right. But being that far right, he's got that other fairway over there. You can see he plays this low skip shot around the outside, and it just kind of flares up back towards the basket, and he probably left him 10 feet out from the basket, which from where he was a great save. So he's throwing his approach here, and he actually footfalled it really bad. This was his first tournament, so he didn't really understand what was going on. So I explained to him what exactly a footfall was and what needs to happen, and gave him his warning here, and he's actually rethrowing that same shot. So similar results as his previous shot, but a good learning point for him as a new tournament player. So he was just trying to get underneath that branch, and he would have had a great look at the basket. It just drops that one in. So that's a heck of a 4 save on that hole from his drive being that far left and just making good on it. Might not be able to convert on that long putt. This is going to be my birdie save, my birdie look. Again, just more metal. Gotta get them up, or they can't go in.
Ooh, no.
After that great recovery, you just
Can't miss those.
can't miss those 10-foot putts. But I'm just gonna be tapping out for our pars in that hole and moving on to the next one.
Now, hole 17 is a tricky little shot. It's 385 straight, and it kind of dumps into the woods. Just a real tight little gap you have to hit. This is a hole that you want to know exactly where you want to put your disc. This hole, I ended up taking a bogey, and just around the basket is a lot of trouble you can get into. Tough to get a clean putt. So really, you just want to throw this one straight, and then your second shot, get up to the basket where you have a nice, easy putt.
Yeah, you're looking at it, you think you want to kind of hyzer in at it and try to get into the woods, but if you're 10 feet short, 10 feet long, you're not going to have any approach to that basket back in there. Off to the left, it's just jail over there. You see he's flirting with it in there and just kind of, he hits that sand trap over there. He ends up on the edge of the left, but not buried. Left himself a little longer approach than he wanted, pushing it away outright, and just doesn't quite make it into that gap over there. You see he's right here on the edge, so he's trying to just pitch up to the mouth, just catches those branches and leaves himself short left, so he still hasn't made that gap. And I made it even with the gap, just to the right, just taking a nice little putter up the gap and make myself a nice easy par putt. He's just trying to pitch around the corner, try to get his putt, and then he's actually going to have to go turbo putt because he can't get a line through this stuff, because even though he's inside the circle, he's got no line.
Yeah, this Florida underbrush, it is some thick stuff. You're not going to get a disc to cut through there. If your disc hits anything, you're stopping right there.
Stopping right there. And that was a great par save for being pushed so far left. Just get out there and making those long putts. It just chains out through the woods. And then we're all just going to be tapping out our pars and bogeys. Then here, moving on to hole 18. Hole 18 is a weird little shot. I wasn't quite sure what to do. It plays as a little straight to hyzer backhand, slightly uphill. It's only 230, so it's not a really long shot, but the angle was really tricky for me, and I wasn't sure what to do with it, so I just played the big hyzer to try to get safe because there's no trees up there.
It's definitely a tricky little shot. You got to hit a small window and kind of keep it low, skip in under the basket. I saw birdies and I saw bogeys on this hole. It can go either way.
If you hit this line, you can get up to the basket without a lot of trouble. And he actually throws a brilliant shot here. Low fairway driver, skips around the corner, and he was actually right on line with the basket and just barely missed the pole. And that's the trouble you can run into taking that low line. If you leave it a little bit right, those trees nothing's punching through those, and it just kind of drops him down. He's got an awkward little uphill shelf towards the basket, and he does the exact same thing.
Yeah, now he's below the basket. He has to go over a bunch of bushes to get to the basket, and once again, the basket it's a tight little area to be in.
Yeah, the actual good puttable green on this basket's probably only about a 10-foot circle. So you can see that's the whole fairway, and you can see there's bushes all around the basket up there. So there's my drive. Gave it a good look from in the bushes, but just caged out. I believe this is for his birdie putt from right there. No, this would be for his par putt. Just gotta kind of dump it over those bushes and just leaves it a little high. You gotta get high to get over the bushes, but you gotta get it nose down. And I believe this is his birdie putt. Yeah, put the drive long and then just hit that little comebacker putt. So then, cleaning up my par. Then he's cleaning up his bogey, or is that his par? And then he actually walked off, went on to the next hole, and forgot to put out and clear the hole. So we had to go chase him down and have him come back and put out. So that's the end of the round for the original course. Thanks everybody for watching. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.